All right, I think that's everybody. We got one person coming in. Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, so I think we'll get started. So welcome to the CGI offices. My name is Jim Delecka, one of the Mac admins for the Mac group. I think most of our group is actually here. So we have Brad, we have Nathan, we have Adam over here, and we have David over there. I think that's pretty much most of the group. I think we're missing one or two people that wasn't able to make it today, but that's a pretty good turnout for the Mac admins team. So that's awesome. This is the first time we're doing it in the CGI office because I'm new here. It's a CGI, so welcome to our space. I hope everyone got a lot of food. There's tons of food left over, so you know, we'll do a break midway, and then everyone can kind of go get a bathroom break, grab some more food, grab some drink, and then we'll continue on. Here. Okay, so again, we'll do a welcome, we'll do a code of conduct here. We always do that, who's hiring. Our agenda really, we're going to talk about the Mac admin group at Penn State. So Adam's going to talk a little bit about that. He was able to attend. We're going to do what's new with Sonoma with Graham Watts here from Apple. We have a Microsoft guy on the phone. He's going to talk about what's new with Intune for managing Macs. And then Jamf's is here as well, Drew. He's going to talk about Jamf's Jamf 11 that just came out. And then we'll just be able to schmooze and have some questions. I think we'll try do questions as we go, but the microphones are having a little bit of a challenge, so I might have to type out the questions to the Microsoft guy if we have them, but for everyone else, we're in the room anyways. So code of conduct, typical things. We just don't want to, you know, yell at each other. We want to respect each other, things like that. This isn't too complicated. We'll keep it nice and friendly and fun in this space, and we'll just have a really good time together. So we always ask this, if anyone's aware, if anyone is hiring. Does anyone know if there's anybody's hiring? Oh.
There's one role, a friend of mine is CEO at a design firm, not a Mac role. It's a very Windows-centric company. They use Autodesk and some other systems that are only available on Windows, but if anyone's interested to learn more, let me know. They just acquired a new company. They're doubling in size and they'll need an IT manager.
Awesome. Anyone else aware of anybody that's hiring right now? I'll do a plug for CGI. We always have lots of consulting roles open on our website. So if you go take a look at the career section on CGI, if there's something that you really like, give me a buzz and maybe we can do a referral for you. Help you at least get a little foot in the door to HR. Get you above just the public entry anyways. But reach out to me on Slack if anyone sees anything that they're interested in.
And for $500, you get a guaranteed score. You just need to give us.
Yeah. And we'll give you a free pen, and a water bottle, CGI water bottle. Okay, so we'll go right into Adam here. He's going to talk about the Penn State MacAdmins.
I thought I'd just do a little summary of what I learned at Mac Admins. Has anyone here actually been to Penn State MacAdmins Conference? I met Dimitri there. It is summer camp for MacAdmins, and I recommend everybody go. First off, I should probably tell you who I am if you don't know me. I'm Adam. I am lead endpoint engineer at Thumbtack, and we like going to conferences at Thumbtack and doing PD. So we went down to Penn State, and the conference is there's usually about 7 or 8 different talks during every slot. So there is a wide array of things to learn from various different people. Most of all the conference talks are actually on their resources, which you can go to on there. It's back for a second. Yeah. It's really sorry. I did not practice this or think about what I was going to say at all, other than just writing some quick thoughts. There's usually slides, there's usually a YouTube that you can go to from their website. If there's not recorded, it's probably because they were Apple and they said you can't record us. It was it's both the actual sessions are great. It's also the best conference food I've ever had. And in addition to that, the hallway track is really good because you get to talk to all those people you've met on Slack, get some more information from them, meet new people. One night I just grabbed a random Apple person and we just sat around chatting about platform SSO for like an hour and a half just because we could. And then when I got to a question he didn't know, he said, talk to that guy over there from Jamf. He'll tell you what to do for that. So I went over to him. He was slightly drunk, and he just told me not to use it because it's garbage. But those kind of meetings are what make it really great. Thank you. So the sessions that I really, really like every year, Robert Hammond. If you don't know him on Slack, he's great. He's on SpaceX. He puts iPads into space. Every year he does a what's new in Mac OS, whatever the new version is. And it's usually right after the WWDC. And so he's got a lot of good information there. Probably the funniest session I went to was Ross Mitsuda's Scripting the Unscriptable, which basically told everyone very many times, don't actually do this. But it was how to use AppleScript to script GUI elements that you can't get to via terminal and bash. And that was really awesome and really cool things that you can do, but also it will most likely break when Apple releases an update because Apple likes changing the UI and AppleScript. Another one was really cool. It was streamlining macOS administration with GitHub Actions. That one was really funky. What he was doing was he was running auto package inside of GitHub Actions. So you just had to run it in there. You didn't need a server. You didn't need any infrastructure. And it works. And I am very tempted to do that at my own setup. And so it's really good stuff. Now, I don't know if many people use Monkey, but Greg Nagel, who's the developer of Monkey, always gives a talk about Monkey, and this time it was the past, present, and future of Monkey. And so he gave a little historical outlook, what's going on now and where to go, and kind of a call to action for people to help with the development work. And not just development, help with documentation, help with supporting people in the Monkey channel on Slack. A lot of cool stuff. There's some more notes. Can you scroll those up? Whee! Rick Hale did a talk about MDM migrations. I think he said he did 7 of them already, 7 different MDM migrations, and I cried for him. I've only done it once, and it was horrible. And I never suggest anyone migrates an MDM. but I was considering doing it at the time, so it was a really good talk to go to get someone's more info. Hi, David.
Did he talk about which migration is hardest?
I don't think so. Now, when I said I should talk about this, it was also, I think, before the conference, and the conference was in July, so I don't 100% remember. Hey, Brad?
Hi. Of those 7 migrations, how many of them were the same MDM? Like, were those 7 unique, distinct
I
MDMs?
think so. I think it was 7 unique MDMs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did he mention Jamf's MDM migration tool?
I don't know. I can't tell you what he advertised or not.
Did he mention that he landed on Jamf in the end? Or-
I'm not trying to make it a sales thing at all, just because we have a MDM migration service.
Yeah.
That makes it 1,000 times easier, because it does suck if you
Yeah.
don't have a tool for it. But basically, like, you get an app to deploy from your existing MDM.
Yeah.
That it does depend on what MDM you're going to and from, because it kind of does some API calls and stuff, so it depends on what's available and whatever. But if you are ever considering switching from an MDM, and obviously the destination MDM would have to be Jamf. But it can be from Jamf to Jamf too, like we've done that.
Yeah.
Like if you're like changing branding and stuff like that, or like an acquisition or something like that, that's made it 1,000 times easier. That basically guides the end users through the process, and they just have to do some prompting. So it's because it does suck if you don't have to, and you guys have probably all gone through it.
Yeah. I did AirWatch to Mosul anyways,
Yeah.
but that was mostly all because of AirWatch. Never use AirWatch if you can avoid it. Yeah. There was also one was automating IT with Okta workflows. I don't know if people here use Okta. I know a few people do. But Okta has this function called workflows, which basically lets you work with webhooks and APIs and move stuff all over. And this was a really good talk. My company uses it, but the problem is only super users have access to Okta workflows accordingly. So you have to be a whole entire Okta super user. And our systems team doesn't want to give endpoint that access. Eventually they changed their mind, but we hadn't actually been having hands-on use with it, but we've already been doing some cool stuff where we're locking machines in Jamf when we offboard a user. So we send all the commands to Google Workspace, we send the commands to Jamf, we do all that fun stuff, and then we create tickets and update our inventory in Anitsa and all that fun stuff. And that's all being done with Okta Workflow. And so Evan Burns and Ventura Torres gave that good talk about that. And that was really interesting because that was stuff that I really wanted to learn and I was only starting to play with. And then there were a lot of soft skill talks. One of them was moving from EDU to enterprise. Ben and Damien gave it together, but it was mostly Damien because Damien actually did that switch. And someone who went from EDU to enterprise, that was a really cool talk. And if you are at EDU and want to move into enterprise, I would suggest watching that. It's a really cool talk. Another one was from engineer to manager. As though my title is lead, it will be manager at some point. And I already have someone reporting to me. So I thought that would be a good one to go to. And probably the best one was aging in tech because, well, I felt very young in that room, being 40 odd years old. I often feel really old in tech spaces. But Pam gave a great talk about that. And it was partially about aging in tech and partially a history of women's lib. And it was a really cool talk with a lot of audience participation. And then also, Chris Staw gave an extremely technical talk about Wi-Fi 6E that mostly went over my head. Has absolutely nothing to do with my work because I don't manage Wi-Fi at all anymore, so I don't know why I went. But it was really cool information to learn about Wi-Fi 6E. So if you want a very, very technical overview of Wi-Fi 6E, that's a great place to start, especially because it's Apple-centric. But the reason I actually one of the reasons I went there was I went with Rebecca, who is now the senior endpoint engineer at Thumbtack, my direct report. And the two of us gave two different talks because we couldn't decide which talk to do. And we thought they would choose one. And they chose both. And don't do that. That was a lot of work. But it was still a lot of fun. One of them we did, which was Beta Buddies, testing with friends, which was talking about our beta program and how we're getting our end users from every department within the company, about 5% of our workforce, all participating in this beta program, running macOS betas, and testing it and providing feedback to us. And it's a really cool program that we got started, and it's working out great. And then in addition to that, we also talked about our testing workflow and how we are rolling out slowly software updates. Not Mac OS ones, but third-party software updates like Google Chrome. Slowly from 0% of the fleet, and then we move up to IT, and then we end the beta testers that have self-volunteered. And then we've got like a random 10% of the fleet, and then a random 25%, and then 50% before it goes out to everyone. And we were talking about how we're doing that with Monkey, but the talk was talking about our specific tools, which are Jamf and Monkey, but it's the concept itself is platform agnostic. Our other talk was bringing a Mac admin mindset to managing Windows endpoints, which is actually what this session pictures from. And we did tell, especially these two guys here, very much at the beginning that this is not for seasoned Windows admins. And they didn't listen to us and they just stayed. But the good thing is they provided a lot of feedback and gave a lot of context that I didn't have as the supposed authority there and the one giving the talk. So it was really cool because we had a lot of interaction from everyone. And yeah, those are the sessions that we did, and that's what took up most of my nights. But if you do go there and you don't give 200 presentations, you can actually go out to some of the fun events that they have at night. This year there was a barbecue, just a giant barbecue. Previous years they've gone to baseball games and just always good events to go to and meet your fellow nerds and hang out with them. Is there another slide? Oh yeah, and you should go. I don't work for them. I don't have any money from them. Like, I just think it's the best conference for Mac admins, period. I suggest everyone to go. That's it for me. Graham's turn.
So I'm just gonna stop sharing and then Graham's gonna share his. And